On the last video that I did about finding a computer on the side of the road, I showed you that I got this motherboard here with a 6700K. And at this point, all that's left is to test this out. So in order to test this, we have to plug in the 24 pin and the 8 pin onto the board here. And for testing this, we're just going to turn it on, see if it posts, and then turn it back off again. I'm going to plug in the HDMI here. And once you get to that point, we're going to have to use the magic screwdriver. It's going to be hard to see here, but there's 2 pins on here that you have to hit, and I'll show a close-up of that. The piece of RAM here is completely optional, although if you have one, it's better to test it because then you'll know all these work. Once we know that it turns on and posts, then we'll completely hook it up and try to install Windows on it. But unfortunately, when I went and did all those steps, it did not show anything on the screen. So at that point, I wasn't sure if it was the CPU or the motherboard. So what I did was I took this CPU to my office. We happen to have some old systems there. I put it in there, turned it on, and it posted right away. So since I knew the CPU was good, at that point, I tried to take out the battery here to reset the system to make sure there wasn't any weird memory issues or something that when somebody updated the BIOS, it broke something. Unfortunately, even after doing that, it was unsuccessful. So, unfortunately, that means this motherboard is wasted. However, we can still make some money, and in some respects, it's easier to sell the CPU than the entire setup. Like, put a CPU in some easy to package box, like put some bubble wrap around it, and you're done. Whereas the motherboard, you kind of have to make sure nothing cracks on the way. And then if somebody doesn't know what they're doing, they might end up returning it on you. Whereas the CPU is pretty much, it always works. So unfortunately, I spent a certain amount of money on this CPU. It was $15 to $20. This cooler, so crap. Unfortunately, in trying to test this, I got over anxious and bought a cooler. You should probably normally make sure the motherboard here is working properly. Anyway, this still was exciting, I think. It's always interesting to find stuff in the wild on the street or at your office or whatever and see if you can get it to work. And if it does work and it's yours, you can try to sell it for some money and then buy something you really want. Anyway, thanks for watching.